Well, everybody, welcome back to Bathroom Movie Reviews, and today we're going to be reviewing Captain America: Brave New World. And it's a historic moment because this is my first official review in the new review room. So what do you think? I'm not going to show it off all right now, but it's pretty awesome. I realize this movie has been out for over a month, but I was prepping my review room, and better late than never. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, there is going to be spoilers, and that's on you because you could have seen it anytime. This movie has been getting a lot of mixed reviews, but now it's time for you to get the best review, the Bathroom Movie Review.
Woo! Yeah, let's go!
The movie starts out showing how Sam Wilson has finally taken upon himself the role and mantle of Captain America. Anthony Mackie once again plays the Falcon, or now Captain America, and does a great job. Not to mention, he also has a new vibranium suit thanks to our Wakandan friends. He also has a new sidekick, Joaquin Torres, as the new Falcon, played by Danny Ramirez. The movie starts off pretty quick with both Joaquin and Sam fighting the Serpent Society, led by Sidewinder, who is played by Giancarlo Esposito. Hope I didn't butcher that. But he's from the Maze Runner movies, he's been in The Boys, Breaking Bad. Very good actor. After this, we see Joaquin and Sam hanging out with their friend Isaiah Bradley, played once again by Carl Lumbly. If you haven't seen Falcon Winter Soldier, that's where we're introduced to Isaiah. He has a super soldier serum, basically was screwed over by the government, but has healed since meeting Sam, and they have become friends. So we have this cool scene, they're training together, they're friends, they're joking. Sam decides to invite Isaiah to the White House, where President Ross, played by Harrison Ford, and if you don't know who he is, you gotta fix something in your life, but where President Ross is going to be giving a speech trying to unite the nations in mining adamantium off of Tiamat. Flashback, Tiamat was the Celestial from the Eternals and apparently is made of adamantium. This is definitely hard for Isaiah, who is suffering from PTSD after being locked up for decades by the US government. But he goes, they show up to the White House, and you could guess this is where things go wrong. During President Ross's speech, Isaiah flips out, something seems to take over, he takes some shots at the president, then runs away, takes off. This starts the whole feel of the action spy style type movie that I believe Captain America 4 was going for, where Joaquin and Sam have to investigate, fight some bad guys, and figure out who is really behind this shooting because they don't believe Isaiah could have done it, and he was probably brainwashed. Spoiler, he was. So it's now a race against the clock to try to free their friend before he's locked up for good. After this is another hour and a half of action and investigation, as well as meeting new characters, one being the leader, also known as Samuel Stearns from The Incredible Hulk. Glad they finally brought him back in. And he is played by Tim Blake Nelson. Alright, that's enough about breaking down the plot. If you want to see it, then stop cheating and stop watching this video and go get your own opinion by watching the movie yourself. Here's what I loved about the movie. I think Anthony Mackie did great in the starring role as Captain America. And yes, blah blah blah, I know he's not Steve Rogers. He's not supposed to be Steve Rogers. And I get that's kind of hard when it is called Captain America. And Steve Rogers was the Captain America for most of the time. I really enjoyed the style that this movie was going for. That whole spy, action, thriller type of vibe. You know, where you got the dude who wants to find out who the bad dude is, but no one believes that there is a bad dude. And they say, yo, don't look into this. But then he still breaks protocol, looks into it anyways. And then people are getting mad at him. Wow, does this movie sound familiar now? I also really love that after 17 years, we got the payoff of the after credit of The Incredible Hulk. At the very end of Incredible Hulk, you see some of Hulk, or is it Abomination's DNA though, drip into Samuel Stern's head. His brain starts going crazy and that's it. And then for almost 2 decades, nada. He didn't get anything. Until now. And honestly, for the most part, the story was fun, the visuals were engaging, and it was nice to have some serious moments after, at least what I felt like, were a lot of gag Marvel movies. Maybe that's not the best way to put it, but a lot of Marvel movies that went too hard with the humor and you kind of lost that seriousness of like Winter Soldier or Infinity War, you know, some of those more in-depth moments. And I did feel like they got some of those in this movie. I also thought Isaiah Bradley brought a lot to the film too, at least emotionally. For me, I feel for the guy. He's locked up for decades by the government. He's trying to, I don't know if you'd say forgive, but forget and move on. He shows this by being strong and going to the White House and gets screwed over again. And where is he? Locked up by the government. For once again, doing nothing wrong. Besides trying to shoot the president, but that wasn't his fault. So nothing wrong. Now let's talk about Harrison Ford. I think Harrison Ford's a great actor, and I was skeptical when they cast him, mainly because of his age, and I don't know how long they plan to use him. But he did great in this movie. And rest in peace to William Hurt. We loved him. But Harrison Ford did great by taking the mantle upon himself and making it his own. He has some massive talent, and I definitely feel throughout the movie you see the massive emotion that Thaddeus Ross has. Also, he's a massive influence on this movie. Some might say he's so massive he's almost Hulk-like. Get it? Massive Hulk. Because he plays Red Hulk.
Stupid joke, dumb, stupid.
Anyways, I love seeing Red Hulk in this movie. I personally have been having major Hulk withdrawals, and Professor Hulk, I just think he's overstayed his welcome. So when Red Hulk came out at the end of the movie, I was super happy, and there's this part where he just claps and obliterates half the White House, and I'll definitely say it was worth the wait. Now it's time to talk about what I didn't like, and sadly, there's a lot of points I want to go over. First of all, the villains. Yes, I know I talked about how great they were, but that's my issue, is I feel like they could have used them in such better ways. I mean, you have an actor like Giancarlo Esposito as Sidewinder, and they used him at the very beginning and for a brief moment, maybe near the middle, and it was awesome, but I feel like this character could have been his own villain and carried his own movie, and it would have felt great. And then there's the leader. You know, as an actor, Tim usually I feel like is a little more spazzy, spontaneous, and I get the leader's role is more serious. He's been manipulated, he's been used, he's basically been imprisoned for years by General Ross. But in The Incredible Hulk, he had some of that spazzy, spunk kind of weirdness, and I was hoping that transfer over to his villainous role, give him more personality, maybe a little more crazy, while still being smart, make him a little more scary, but also humorous. He just felt very robotic and dry to me, which once again, people have argued is because he's been locked up, he's depressed, I get that. Still didn't land great for me. Now, one of my biggest critiques, which still frustrates me, was Red Hulk. Yes, he was awesome for the 2 minutes he was in it. Actually, thinking about it, it was probably closer to 5 or 6. But still, the trailers teased him, everything teased him, and we got the tiniest sliver of him. Yes, you see moments where you think he might come out and it gets exciting, but really, what happened to the days of Marvel when they'd had the villain a few times throughout the movie? Winter Soldier, super awesome. Bucky's in it in the middle, he's in it again at the end for an awesome finale. Thanos in Infinity War, in it throughout. Killmonger in Black Panther, in it throughout. People keep claiming it's the budget, but Thor Ragnarok literally had Hulk in it, I swear, for like half the movie. So I don't think it's a budget issue, I think it's a being efficient with the budget issue. Personally, I think the story could have been awesome where, yes, you have this mystery, who's doing the brainwashing, but maybe a third into the movie, something happens, you see a hulking figure in the distance, Sam's like, what the heck is that? And it crashes to the woods and it's gone. Maybe it's during the scene where he gets shot, the general disappears for a minute, there's a hulking figure in the distance, no one knows what it is, there's commotion, then the general's back a few minutes later, clothes a little torn, makes up a story. Then halfway through the movie, you see news footage of this thing just wrecking through a city, and everyone's like, is that the Hulk? What the heck? What's going on? And you just see little glimpses, but teases at him. Or he shows up and has a fight with Sam in the middle of the movie for a couple minutes, or maybe just 30 seconds. Just give us a little bit. And then at the end, we get the payoff. We see him in his full glory. We see the awesome action. We realize it's General Ross finally, even though comic book nerds like me already knew that. But to me, this could have added to the mystery, you know, who's doing the brainwashing? And then that's another reason that General Ross doesn't want the leader out, is because he doesn't want people to know that he's the Red Hulk and he's trying to keep it contained, but he keeps having these outbursts. Maybe I'm digging too deep. I just think they could have had him more. So my last simple critique is it just felt a little clunky. I still had fun. I enjoyed it. It just didn't feel as smooth as I felt it should have. I heard there's a lot of reshoots. I don't know if that added to it. I'm not exactly sure what it was. I'd like to hear what you guys think in the comments, but I've only seen it once. But yeah, a little clunky. And has anybody else noticed that older Marvel movies, I feel like the background always looked amazing. And by background, I mean the background actors, the city, it felt like real. It felt like it was actually set in the real world. Didn't feel like a soap opera, didn't feel cheesy. I feel like some of the newer movies, I don't get that. For example, after the White House scene where Red Hulk freaks out and jumps to the park, I get it, they call and say, clear the park, they're coming. But they're there in 60 seconds and I don't know, you see like 2 or 3 people, I think, in the background kind of run away. It just feels like they're shorting us where it doesn't feel as genuine. But maybe that's just me. That's just an extra little picky thing. Didn't ruin the movie. In the end, I didn't hate this film. I'm not hating on it. I still had fun. I feel like people have gotten so critical of movies lately, especially superhero movies. And yes, I recognize there's been a dip in the MCU. The quality isn't where I want it, but I haven't really hated any of the movies. The Marvels was pretty rough. but I still have fun watching these superhero movies at least once in theaters, getting into the excitement of these characters. But yes, guys, I get it. I want the MCU to do better. I know they can do better, but let's stop saying the movies are awful and saying they suck and then just not seeing them. I think this one was worth watching once. No, I'm not going to go back to the theater to watch it again like I did for other Marvel movies, but I still enjoyed it. So at the end of the day, I'm going to give this movie, Captain America Brave New World, a 6 out of 10. Wasn't amazing, but it wasn't awful. I'd say it's a little better than average. And that being said, this movie is not flushable. Thanks for watching, and if you want to see more movie reviews, like and subscribe because there's a lot more coming.